Hi, Giselle.
Hi, Anna.
Uh, so welcome to our first episode of Catch of the Week. We are going to be doing a weekly little video cast with the Madfish team and hopefully some guests at some point down the road as we get these going. But really, we will be talking about all things digital marketing, working from home, how that's changed our workflow. Of course, the COVID-19 crisis and how that's impacting the world around us, as well as how we're keeping it together during all of the madness. And yeah, this is new for us. So things might be a little rocky at the start, but we'll get the hang of it. And we're excited to kick off this new little program. Yeah, Giselle, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Giselle and I work at Madfish. I lead our content team and our social impact efforts.
Awesome. And I'm Anna and I lead our client strategy team at Madfish. And yeah, Giselle and I will dive right in. Today, we're going to be talking about a coronavirus toolkit that we put together internally. And then Giselle is going to share with us how she stays focused and what life working from home is like with a second person in the house. So we'll jump in with the coronavirus toolkit.
Yeah. So with our coronavirus toolkit, we actually put it together kind of as a joint effort. I want to say last week. We were meeting internally and we were just thinking about ways to curate cool experiences online right now, and just things that have been popping up in our Slack channels, but we haven't had a place to I keep losing the word for this, but to collect them. That's what I mean. And so it all sort of came about because Ben Herman, our CEO, was saying, I heard about this DJ party over the weekend. I missed it. Who is sending out the invites for these? How do I know when they're happening? And so Anna and I just kind of started brainstorming, how do we collect this? Should we put this on a microsite? How are we going to kind of have all this information together? And Anna, do you want to talk a little bit about the spreadsheet and how it functions?
Yeah, totally. So the spreadsheet is just a collection of different things that you can do to either keep busy during the quarantine period. And I mean, whether that's cooking, different recipes that you can make. We have a recipe Slack channel that we share things in all the time, but this is a nice spot to just, as Giselle said, collect those ideas instead of having to scroll through our Slack all the time. But then it's also books that you can read, podcasts to listen to, movies to watch while we're all staying home. So yeah, anybody can access it on the team, and it's been super helpful for giving folks ideas of different club quarantine parties to attend via Instagram Live or whatever it may be. So that's super fun and has been just a really great spot for us to collect that information and learn from each other.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing? Have you done something from the toolkit yet?
I did Dance Church, which was super fun. It's 50-ish minutes or so of dancing and aerobic exercise, and that was great. I left that feeling, first off, I didn't know that 50 minutes of dancing was so intense, and I was so tired. It was out of control, but so much fun. And I just went into that feeling oh my gosh, I don't know if I can dance for 50 minutes, to the end feeling so refreshed, just smiling ear to ear, just jazzed up about dancing. Puts you in such a good mood. So that was super fun. What about you?
Awesome. I mean, I really just contributed so far. I haven't gotten a chance to comb through. So I feel that's something that I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Just to see what folks have put in there. I did see some more gratitudes, which I just love to see, things to be grateful for is one of our sections. And then, me, I always love a good new podcast. So I'm very excited to dig into the things to listen to section as well.
Honestly, there are so many good ones in the things you should listen to. So that's just, I don't know. I love a podcast recommendation as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I feel I've gotten very into, this is very random, but I've gotten very into playing The Sims on the weekends.
Oh
and so
Okay.
To try and make it like educational, I listen to a podcast while I play The Sims.
Here's the deal. The Sims has ramped up their marketing budget during the stay-at-home period of time because I am getting nothing but Sims ads. I also downloaded Roller Coaster Tycoon again. So, yikes.
I'm just glad it was Roller Coaster Tycoon, not Zoo Tycoon. It's like close to Tiger King right now.
I feel like EA Games went into their archives to find just lists of people who had this game way back when and just like popped that into Facebook and started targeting us because I get nothing but Roller Coaster Tycoon ads, and I have a history with that game. So here we go.
Oh man. Yeah, I definitely, as you know, my wife and I are buying a house mid crisis. And so I will say that I spent the $5 I bought Sims 4, and then Olivia has been building our new house on Sims 4 since we can't really like play around and like do anything to plan for it right now since we're just inside. So, you know, there's all sorts of ways. Plus then you get to feel like God and you're just like, everything is going the way I want it to. Nothing is going wrong. Everyone is progressing. It's all good. So it's really good for my type A tendencies.
Get me those Rosebud cheat codes and I'm in.
Yeah, I've been trying not to play with cheat codes, but that's just such a typical me move. So annoying.
I'm just trying to make it more efficient. Sue me, you know?
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't need
I mean, listen.
So what has it been like working from home with your wife also there?
It's been interesting. I think, you know, I work from home 1 day a week, usually. And so Olivia and I have a little bit of experience with that, but there's definitely, I feel like we've had to have a little bit more of a conversation around like what boundaries look like, especially because we don't actually have enough rooms in our house. It's a very small house to be like in separate rooms all the time. And so we just have been having conversations around like what meetings are appropriate to have her like sitting right behind me. That's where she sits. And like what times am I going to need like a little bit more privacy, or what times am I going to be talking about confidential information? So I need her to not be around, or I need to have my headphones in, or whatever it is. And then also just like establishing guidelines. I feel like because we're home all the time, it's sort of like we want to clean all the time, we want to do our laundry, we want to get organized, and like just having a conversation around like when can I help or like talk about that or do any of that. Like that's like such a situation, because I definitely feel like, I don't know, it's hard to say to someone like, hey, I can't pay attention to you right now when they're your partner. But there are times when I'm like, I really can't pay attention to you right now. So I think both of us are working on that. And then she's in school, so there's also like me trying not to bug her while she's doing homework and that kind of thing. But we're finding a routine. We are sometimes utilizing the tip that came out on Twitter about like blaming an imaginary coworker for doing things that annoy you. So, you know, I think ours is named Brigitte. I don't know why she's Brigitte, but Brigitte is our imaginary coworker who sometimes like forgets to wash her dishes or something like that. A real pill, but we're getting through it.
Brigitte, what a name.
Listen, Olivia came up with it. I didn't name her Brigitte, but
I love that. Love that. And obviously my husband and I did not coordinate when we can be walking around right now. So introducing Zach, he just walked by, very exciting. But rule number 1, make sure that your spouse knows or your partner knows when they can or cannot be popping around in the background and just in the meeting.
Adding a little flavor. I appreciate seeing Zach. It feels very like real life.
Here we
it's
are.
Like everyone apologizing about seeing their pets, and I'm just like, we all want to see your pets. Like, right. Please.
The pets are holding us up right now. Let's be honest. How have you? I guess what has it been like to stay focused for you when you work from home?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I feel like staying focused, working from home is hard on a normal day. And like we're in the midst of a global pandemic. So I think it is important to remember that context and like take care of yourself and be aware that, you know, there's so much pressure to be like so productive right now. And while that's something that for a lot of folks is possible, it may not be as possible for others, like depending on where your mental health is at and like how this is affecting you. And so just being cognizant of that. For me, it's really helped to like have a really focused routine. I really thrive on routines. I grew up in Montessori school. Like my mom was a Montessori teacher, so it's all very structured. And that really helps me. So I do like this weekly to do where I write down everything that I need to do for the week at the beginning of the week so that I have an idea of what the flow of my week is going to look like. And then I just kind of try to work in the hours that I'm the most productive. For me, that is the morning. I know for some folks that's later at night. So just finding what works for you and what works for your schedule. So yeah, I think it's just kind of balancing that. And then I know that this is another like classic work from home tip, but actually having a workspace, you know, like I think when I was working remotely once a week, I felt like, oh, okay, like it's fine. I'm just going to like get my writing done and get my heads down work done. But doing this every day and having, you know, a lot of our job as digital marketers is meetings. We do a lot of consulting, a lot of calls. We're both managers, so we do a lot of that. And knowing that, I just have kind of shifted to actually having a workspace and knowing like when I'm sitting here, I'm working, and when I'm sitting elsewhere in my home, I'm home and able to relax and do stuff like that. So those are probably my three main tips.
Yeah, I think that you're so right. Having a workspace, I think, is pretty key. I have found that it's been hard to kind of shut work down when working from home 24/7. It feels really easy to just like jump back on the computer and like, oh, I could just do this one thing really quick. And we know that one thing turns into two things and two things turns into six things. And before you know it, you've been there for an hour and you're like, what happened to my evening? So totally can relate to that. And I agree, like the routine, just a game changer. I don't know. I've been listening to the same podcasts every single morning while I get ready for my commute to from my room to my bathroom to my desk. Just down to get coffee downstairs. You know, I just have my podcast playing in the background and just making sure that I'm staying, I don't know, as close to quote unquote normal as I can. And just trying to feel like there's some sense of just normalcy about all of this, even though we know that there's not.
Yeah. Have you tried anything with your team to like stay connected and feel like things are not normal, but like that you guys are still like connected and together?
Totally. Yeah. We do weekly wolf pack check-ins. That's what our client strategy team is called, is the wolf pack. And so we do weekly check-ins with each other, and whether they're 30 minutes or an hour, we kind of leave it open-ended, but it's really just a time for us to connect and learn about what we're all doing during the week. At Madfish, our team operates a little bit differently than the other teams where we're not necessarily working together or with each other on any projects. We're really independent in that, and we work with other individual teams at Madfish, but so that makes it a little bit challenging to know what everybody has going on during the week all the time. And so it's been great just even getting a chance to chat through like, what'd you do today? What was, I don't know, what was your thorn? What was your rose? What are, you know, positives and challenges that you're dealing with right now? That's been super helpful and just is a good way for us to stay collaborative and to talk through different challenges that we're seeing and provide each other with solutions. So that's been awesome. And it almost feels like we're more connected now than we were before, which is weird. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's so
What
good
about
to
you?
hear. I think for content, you know, I mean, I would say like we're sort of similar to client strategy in the way that like we tend to be really focused on our own projects, and like we will talk to each other about what we're working through like once a week or so, but we weren't doing like daily stand-ups before this, and that's something we're doing them like, you know, about 3 times a week now, where we'll pop on at 9 a.m. and we'll just go through 4 questions. So we'll talk about shout outs, and we'll just talk about like who has been, you know, really standing out to us in like that day or that set of days, and be able to kind of like show that gratitude. And then we'll do progress. So talking about like what we got done between the last meeting and then we'll do any stucks. So especially right now, just making sure that we're leaving space for talking through like any emotional challenges or work challenges, and being collaborative when we don't have the ability to kind of like walk over to each other's desks, which is how we generally are like, like I'm stuck on this, can you help me? And then finally we'll do our number one, and that's just to keep us focused. We'll say like, this is the number one thing I want to get done by the next time that we talk. And that way we're able to check in on each other and be like, so did you get that done? Like, how was that? And I think it just provides that accountability that's super important for our team. And then it also just feels really genuine for us, where we're able to connect. And, you know, at first I was like, we're doing these every day. And I was like, this is way too much. And so I think taking in that adaptability and being like, okay, what is actually benefiting my team? How can I continue that? And then how do we make sure that we're still collaborating and connected and having fun together?
Yeah, it feels so, I mean, we're even having a virtual happy hour this evening as a full Madfish team. And yeah, just making sure that we're not canceling meetings just because we have better things to do or, you know, whatever it is, like just making sure that we're keeping those on the books and just having a chance to talk about just life in general and what's going on and what you did over the weekend. It's not a waste of time to just have coffee and chat with your team and with everybody that you work with. It's certainly feels a little healing right now.
Yeah. I felt like after our last happy hour on Tuesday, I felt so just like full, just like it felt really good for like my heart to be close to everybody. And I think, you know, we are all focusing on connecting with like our friends and family, but having downtime with our coworkers is such an important part of being a team. And I think it can be really easily overlooked. And so I'm just really grateful that everyone is taking that time and recognizing that is super important.
Yeah, ditto. I don't know. It's just so nice to just be able to hang out with our coworkers and crack some jokes, talk Tiger King, you know, get the latest, slow down on that drama. Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks, Giselle, so much for your time this afternoon. It was, I don't know, as always, great. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing this with me. It was a treat.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, stay tuned for our next episode of Catch of the Week. We will be coming at you talking about something else. So we're excited to kick this whole series off. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye, y'all.
Bye.